What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So first, I got a video by Manosphere Highlights Daily, and this is what a fed up man looks like. And can you blame him? This is Dev Campbell, just going off. And I've been kind of watching a few of his videos, so it's like, yep, I don't blame the guy. So let's get into it from the Manosphere Highlights, and let's go.
You guys are in love with the fantasy of Leave It to Beaver and the Wonder Years, like I've said before. That shit dead and gone. Leave It to Beaver is not coming back, dude. Leave It to Beaver isn't coming back. Those women do not exist anymore. And the ones that do exist are fake. They are faking it. They're acting a certain way to get something.
Welcome to Manosphere Highlights Daily. Today's video, pure gold. Why?
What?
Because Dev Campbell breaks down exactly what leads a man to the breaking point. And trust me, many men are there or on the way. The dating market, the delusion, the games, it's all catching up. And Dev, he's speaking for the silent majority. We're letting him cook. But if you disagree, cool, drop it in the comments. You know how we do. Real talk, real convo. No BS. Let's jump in.
So I just heard some bad news from a good friend of the family here. And I'm not going to say his name. I'm going to call him Tom. His name's not Tom, but we'll call him Tom. So Tom's been married for like 25 years. Him and his wife are what I would consider to be perfect, as close to perfect as I've ever seen. Both of them make great money. Him and his wife both, like I said, been together 25 years. Happy, healthy, always laughing, always smiling. They took trips all the time. They did this together, did that together. Everything seemed...
I built my dream life, but I used AI to help me get there. Try Motion. It's a personal assistant.
great. And just recently, I guess out of nowhere, she took off. She's been seeing somebody else. She divorced him. She crushed him. I've never seen him. Tom is literally one of the most happy-go-lucky, always cracking jokes, always making everybody smile kind of guys. Now, he's a union steam fitter. He has been for a long time. He makes really good money, and he's got some rental properties, and he's really good with money. So financially, he's always been set. Maybe not always been set, but he's put himself in a good position. And he said that out of nowhere, I don't know what it is, but she took off. I would never expected that to happen. And he's crushed. And she is right now, like as he told me, living it up with some new lover boy after 25 years, like nothing even happened. And it got me thinking about something. Hearing this news all the time, especially from somebody that, like I said, I would never have guessed this would have happened. They seemed super healthy, super happy, but I guess it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Nothing's ever really enough. And this made me think this morning. I've been thinking to myself, at what point, like we've talked about many times on this channel, at what point are men going to start saying, you know what? I'm just worried about my own happiness from here on out. At what point is that going to happen? Because it's still not happening.
Because if you don't feel in love, then who cares if he's the good guy?
Now let's pause right there.
Yeah, before Manosphere gets into it. Now I've watched this video before, seeing the Manosphere highlights, and I'm just like, 25 years. And I still think, about some of my buddies that are married. I mean, still relationships are still going, but you never know. You never know if all of a sudden the woman wants to just roll out and go, oh, I'm going to go out with the young hot guy, and play the field, it's crazy. And yeah, my attitude is now, like, okay, if I do get married, and I ain't marrying anyone in the West, I'm just going to go somewhere even in Southeast Asia. But the thing is, even getting married there, you're like, okay, is that thought going to be in your head? Like, when is she going to leave? Or is it just my turn? Because that's just pretty much a thought, it's my turn instead of taking it all serious. But yeah, I heard the story ahead of time, and about Tom, and I'm just like, damn, 25 years. But let's continue.
Keyword Dev uses, this made me think. This being what happened to his friend Tom, a man who gave 25 years of marriage and got blindsided by divorce. 25 years. And she just dipped. No warning, no real explanation, just out. It doesn't make sense.
It's not logic.
Unless you've taken the red pill. This is how the awakening starts for many, 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 many men. Something happens. Tragic, unfair, confusing, and suddenly the matrix glitches. You start asking the hard questions, like why?
What?
We see it as kids too. Dad's gone, mom's bitter, and no one explains a damn thing. It stays with us, and eventually we get to a point where we're done being confused. We want the truth.
You hear a lot of people say, oh, men do the same kind of thing. No, they don't. They don't. As a society, that's not true. As a society, we have men that still try to uphold a certain image, a certain type of behavior, certain accountability, and the women in our society have changed drastically. They've changed. I don't think drastically or dramatically. I don't think those words even sum it up enough. Those are understatements. And even in my videos that I've made in the last couple weeks, I've gotten lots of trad cons that comment or message me, give me the same spiel as always. As a man, you this, and as a man, you shouldn't encourage that behavior. Dude, shut up. Shut up. I am a Christian and I am conservative. Like, that's what I would consider myself. Not a trad con. I'm more of like a new con, some kind of weird hybrid new conservative. I'm not a good Christian. I cuss. I'm vulgar. I'm this and that. That's what it is. Take it or leave it. But all you trad cons that always comment this bullshit on my videos, you need to understand something. You guys are in love with the fantasy of Leave It to Beaver and the Wonder Years, like I've said before. That shit's dead and gone. Leave It to Beaver is not coming back, dude. Leave It to Beaver isn't coming back. Those women do not exist anymore. And the ones that do exist are fake. They are faking it. They're acting a certain way to get something.
This is pure gold. This is what red pill awareness sounds like. It's not rage, it's realization. Dev says he's a new hybrid conservative, which basically means he had values, but society punished him for holding them. You want to be a provider, protector, leader, cool, until she decides she's not happy.
Because if you don't feel in love, then who cares if he's the good guy?
You want a traditional wife? Get ready to get laughed at. So when Dev tells the tradcons to shut up, he's not being rude. He's telling the truth, because the truth is the game has changed. And if you don't adapt, you get burned.
At what point do men like my friend Tom, who worked their ass off in the union since he was, I mean, he's in his 50s right now, and he's been a union steam fitter since he was early 20s, I guess. I think it is. Literally never missed a day of work. And I know he's spent a lot of money on her. He's done a lot with her, bought her a lot of stuff. In fact, she had a kid from a previous man before him. And he's gone out of his way to take care of that kid. At what point do we just start saying it's acceptable for men to just give the finger to dating and marriage and just be?
Oh, geez. And yeah, I forgot that that guy, Tom, even he, 25 years, he even married a single mom. Whoa. And that's another thing, people are like, oh, you're not a real man if you don't marry her and take care of her kid. That's not your own blood. I'm sorry, but I'd rather deal with a woman that has no kids, no ties, because if I'm going to take care of a kid, that's my kid. My blood is in that kid. That's my blood. And, I'm still trying to be hopeful, but, I'm running out of time. Well, not too much for myself, but, you get older, it's going to catch up. But yeah, this effery fuckery, Jesus.
Be selfish and do whatever they want. At what point, as a society, do we just say, you know what, guys, just chase your money, just chase your fitness and your health and stuff, and just get hookers. Just buy these young, hot hookers, have your fun, and then do whatever you want with the bros the rest of the time. At what point does stuff like that start being acceptable? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm tired of seeing this one-way street, this two-tier system of accountability and this two-tier system of what's expected. I'm tired of it. Like, it's a laugh at this point.
Let's talk about it. 60% of men aren't dating. The mainstream media panicking. Why?
What?
Because the manosphere is now the main source of game, guidance, and real talk. And men are opting out, not because they hate women, but because they hate what this system has become. Corporate slavery, relationship traps, false accusations, divorce court wipeouts, all for a woman who might leave you after 2 decades with no warning. We're done playing. And it's not just talk. Men are building YouTube channels, businesses, brotherhoods, even sex robots are on the way. And when those drop...
Okay, sex robots. I don't think we're that far off where majority of the men, they're like, I don't want to deal with a real, deal with a woman that gives you hell. Hey, I have a sex robot. That time's already here. It's already happening in Japan. I swear, man, it's going to become a normal thing for most men to go, hey, and we're going to get on forums and go, yo, I have a sex robot. Yep, she's Asian. Yeah, she's about 5 feet something, real skin. I cleaned it out. It's going to become a regular conversation. In some places it already is. It's scary. But that's what's going to happen. Yeah, it's coming. And yeah, women, and I'm even nice by saying that 60% of women by 2030 is going to live alone. God, it's time to get that, pet stop, Petco or whatever. That's scary.
Drop. Oh, it's a WRAP. It's a wrap. Men are wired for sex. No shame in that. But when sex becomes connected to frustration, disrespect, and disappointment, men evolve. We adapt. And the result? The system crumbles.
I see vulgar, trashy, garbage women out here that are still being treated better than like good, respectful, traditional men as a whole by society. I see 10 times as many people coming to the defense of the scummiest, trashiest, adult movie consuming and size queen filth and vulgarity and hookup women that are consumed by that garbage. I see 10 times more people coming to their defense as the ones even giving respect to like good, respectful men.
In this domestic course, you will learn the essential techniques for sketching industrial product design using analog and digital tools.
I can't believe as men, there's still so many of us trying to be like respectful and relatively traditional and wanting the family structure. And I know a lot of people are holding out hope for that because we're thinking long-term, the bigger image of society, and we can't let society fall. This is what's best for people. But I'm telling you guys right now, this is a losing battle. We are in a losing battle. Because I'm not going to say every, but almost every girl out here is laughing in your face. They're laughing in your face about these being chivalrous and respectful and traditional, and I want a good old woman. They're laughing in your face. They think you're a joke. They make fun of you to their friends about how much they have you fooled, thinking they're a good girl. When back at spring break, I did this, or just last weekend, I did that. You have no idea what most women have done or are doing. Most of you guys that are in relationships, you have no idea the gross, backstabbing garbage your great, trustworthy girlfriend or wife, you have no idea what she's even looking at on her phone every day, probably, and blow your mind. You have no idea how many guys she's probably talking to or entertaining. And a lot of you guys are going to get mad when I say this and click off and get butthurt. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. That's the absolute truth.
And let's not act like Dev is lying. Statistics back him up. Half of women admit to having a backup guy. You think that man is just sitting there waiting to pray with her? Nah, he's sliding in her DMs at the first crack in her relationship. And here's the wild part. That's happening at every level of SMV. Low, middle, high. Doesn't matter. Every woman gets attention online. They live on it. It's oxygen to them. So what happens when the looks fade and the DMs dry up? We've never seen it before. This is the first generation of women hitting the wall in public in real time, and it's gonna get ugly. Withdrawal is real. Attention addiction is real. And when men stop practicing simp jutsu, stop chasing, and start building alternatives, these women are gonna feel it hard.
Yep, and yeah, even if you go on the street and you ask a chick, "Hey, so have you been asked out?" "Yeah." "Have you been DM'd?" "Yeah." You ask most dudes, "Any chicks ask you out?" "Yeah, but she wanted money, or we had to bring some sort of value." But most of the times, yeah, the women are, even the average chick gets asked out, even if they say they don't.
I would have never guessed that my friend Tom and his wife would end this way. Never, ever, ever. And it just goes to show, as men today, you're just never safe. Doesn't matter how charming you are. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care about all the bullshit everyone says. I don't care about any of that, because the mentality of this monster that we're feeding as a society with women is it's undefeated. It's becoming this overgrown monster, this attitude. And again, times have changed drastically, and most men are not, either they're too dumb or they're just not willing to change. They want to hold on to hope. And I get it. But at what point do men just say, you know what? F this. I don't care about, being Mr. Nice Guy anymore. I'm not going to do this shit because I'm doing it for no reason. The world has changed drastically. Women have changed drastically in our lifetimes. And most men still refuse to change, or refuse to adapt, or refuse to operate in the realm in which we live. They still want to operate in a fantasy world of 1955.
So, can you blame Dev for being fed up? Can you blame the thousands of men who are walking away quietly? The dating market is cooked. The marriage contract is a trap. And the modern woman, well, she made her choice. Now, men are making theirs. Let me know what you think in the comment. Would love.
Yeah, shout out to Manosphere Highlights Daily. Yeah, I don't blame Dev, as a lot of men are, again, checking out, doing their own thing. I'm doing my own thing. I'm working here in South Korea, just going to work and doing my YouTube and just doing what I need to do. So, yeah, but men are just totally just checked out. And again, women are going to have to find a pet and live alone, and we're going to see a lot of that. So yeah. All right. If any of you enjoyed any of this content, please give me the HKO special. Help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. And wherever you are, stay safe. And I'll see you in my next video.